Char Margolis.
At the age of 8, I saw a spirit at the foot of my bed and didn't know what it was. And in my 20s, I finally realized I had a special ability that could help others. I have learned that love never dies. There is a spirit world that can communicate with us, and we all have the gift of intuition. Join me, and together we will explore the possibilities of the unknown from beyond and more. This is CharVision.
Char Margolis.
Hey everybody, it's Sunny and Char, and today first of all, happy Valentine's Day. I want to make sure everybody knows that they're loved, at least by me. And but today I have somebody. It's a perfect day for Valentine's Day because this young man is so close to my heart. I just adore and love him, and I've known him for a long time, and we've become very close friends. And it's Chris Colfer. Show everybody so everybody can see how handsome.
Hi, everybody. Hello.
Yeah, and Chris and I met on Kelly and Regis and Kelly, wasn't it?
Regis and Kelly, right?
Yeah, and
in like 20, I want to say it was like 2011, 2010 maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, a long time ago.
And then he wanted to I wanted to meet you, or you wanted to meet me?
Well, I think back then I was afraid of you because I was afraid of psychics in general, and I didn't want anyone to tell me any bad news. So I was a little afraid of you. And I remember we passed in the hallway, and you were so sweet. You said, "I would love to give you a reading anytime you want. Give me a call." And I was like, "Oh, okay, sure, sure, lady." And then 3 years went by. And I remember I was on set on Glee, filming with Leah Michelle, Naya Rivera, and Sarah Jessica Parker.
Oh, wow.
And the four of us were talking about psychics.
Oh.
And I said, "Oh my gosh, I met this woman on Kelly and Regis, and she offered to give me a free reading, and I never took her up on it, and I'm kicking myself because I never did." And you reached out 3 days later, just to let me know that your
out of
offer, nowhere, just to let me know that your offer was still on the table.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, and then we've been friends ever since.
Yeah.
So it's a great story.
And I'm so proud of you. You guys, Chris is an amazing writer. He's got a series of stories called The Land of Stories, which is incredible. And you really need to read it. And it's one of those books that you're young or old, it's entertaining for everybody.
Oh, thanks.
Oh my God, yeah. It's absolutely written for people, just everybody. And then now, before I show your book, your new book, I had no idea that you were on the New York Times or Time Magazine's most 100 influential people in the world.
Yeah.
Why didn't you tell me that?
Well, they still haven't told me if it was a good influence. They don't ever tell you that part. They just say you're influence.
It's amazing.
Oh, thanks.
And then you were on Absolutely Fabulous,
yes,
which I love.
Ah.
When you sent me the photos of those girls,
Oh my
Adina
God.
and whatever her name is,
Eddie and Patsy.
and Patsy. Oh my God, I love that.
They are the best.
And then, and you won a Golden Globes.
I did. Yeah, I did. Yeah.
We were really weren't friends then.
I think I had met you just before or just after. Yeah. Right. Yeah, that was all
What
around
was that
the same.
like?
I don't remember. It kind of it happened, and I remember I was 20 at the time, and so really I was so excited to be there and be nominated. But
It's amazing.
All I was thinking about was how am I going to sneak champagne when the camera's not on me. That was like, and so I had like a plan in my head. I was like, there's no way I'm winning, so I just have to wait until the category is announced, and then I won't have to worry about anything. And so then the category was announced, and they read my name, and I blacked out. I remember everyone jumping up at my table, and then next thing I know, I was backstage with a Diet Coke in my hand. That's all I remember.
That's like an amazing story.
It was pretty. Yeah, no, it was
I bet
incredible.
your family was so proud.
They were. My mom was so upset because she didn't come with me because I told her there's
Oh.
no way I'm gonna win. Like, either just stay home. There's no way. And I took my
And
friend
knowing
Ashley
knowing
instead.
your mom,
Yeah, she was very.
she really
yeah.
would have been
Yeah. And then
left out. she would have FOMO.
she had she's very. So then she went with me to the Emmys the next year.
Oh.
And I didn't win.
Oh,
And
no.
she was like, well, you should have taken me last time.
That's so your mother.
So my mom. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Wait, so let me see what else I don't know about you. Let's say, okay. Oh, and you got 3 People's Choice Awards.
I did. Yeah.
That's the fans.
Yes, that was fans.
But
yeah.
were you a teenage idol? Is that what?
I would like to think so. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I like to call myself a child star just because I think it's funny.
Child star. Well,
Just an aging child
you were
star.
16, right?
No, I was let's see,
Or
I was
19?
18?
18.
Yeah, 18 when I got cast in Glee. So I was just out of high school.
But you still have a baby face, so
Thank you. Good doctors.
you got lucky. You don't have any surgery. He has.
No.
He doesn't.
No.
Wow.
No.
Okay. So wait, what else am I missing?
This
Because-
is quite an ego boost. Please,
Yeah,
please
but
keep going.
I honestly, I might have known about some of these awards, but I forgot about them. But you're one of the most influential people. Well, you have influenced me.
Oh, likewise.
You've warmed my heart.
Oh, ditto.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're better than a Golden Globe or a People's Choice Award.
Oh, did you hear that? You're gonna make me cry. Okay, so now your new book. Is it a New York Times bestseller? All your books are New York
It is.
Times
Thankfully,
bestsellers.
yes, they are. Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah, all of them. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible.
It's wonderful. Yeah. Yeah. That's the new one.
It is called The Tale of Magic.
Mm-hmm.
And so, honestly, where can people buy all these books?
And anywhere, Barnes
I'll-
and Noble, Amazon,
Amazon.com.
most independent bookstores.
You guys, seriously, you need to read these books. They're really, really special.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're amazing. But there's one story that you tell me that cracks me up all the time.
Mm-hmm.
When you were 7 years old, you started writing, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yes. About my
Tell me
grandmother.
the story about your grandma. Tell all of us the story about your grandma.
Okay, so I started writing very, very young. When I was about 6 or 7 years old. That was about the time that my sister Hannah, who you've met many times, was diagnosed with epilepsy. So it was really, really tough for the family.
I love Hannah.
Oh, she's my sister's wonderful. Like
She's amazing.
She's far more advanced.
She's
than
a
I ever will
teacher.
be.
She's a teacher for all of us.
Yeah. Yeah. She's hilarious too. She has no filter whatsoever. So
None.
she will.
None.
She will.
None.
I've taken Hannah to visit like executives, and taken them into her office.
Right.
And she looks them up and down and goes, "Can we leave?" Oh, she has no filter. I'm sorry.
But she doesn't because she has epilepsy. She had epilepsy.
Yeah, she has
and-
epilepsy. Yeah.
And what did that do?
Yeah, so when she was young, she had 50 seizures an hour when she was first diagnosed.
my-
Yeah, it was crazy. So it was rough on. I mean, it was horrible on her, and it was horrible on my poor parents and me. So I started writing as kind of a way to escape it all, and as a coping mechanism. And that's when I first started writing The Land of Stories, which is my series. So luckily my grandmother lived across the street.
Okay.
And so I would
Wait, you started writing when you were 7?
about
The
7,
Land
yeah.
of Stories?
Yeah.
You
Isn't
didn't.
that crazy? I did. Yeah. Somewhere I have a file, or my grandma kept a file of just the nonsense I wrote as a kid. It would be a page long, but I would consider that a chapter. When I was a kid. So I would every time I'd finish a chapter, I'd go across the street to my grandma's house, and she'd proofread it, and she'd make all the spelling checks and the grammar and all that stuff. And if she liked it, she'd keep it in a stack by her coffee table. But if she didn't like it and thought I could do better, she'd rip it up and crumble it like Pelosi style, and then and throw it in the trash can. And say, Christopher, you can do better. And most of the time she was right. But to this day, she was the most difficult editor I've ever had to work with.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
But you were worried when you were 7.
Yeah, yeah.
Tell about being
Yeah.
a failed writer.
Yeah. One of the times that she ripped up my chapter, and I was devastated. I burst into tears, and I said, "Grandma, I'm never gonna make it as a writer. I'm a failure." And she said, "Christopher, I think you should wait till you're done with elementary school before worrying about being a failure." And yeah, she's right about that too.
But you truly are such an old soul, and I really want to go on record saying you are one of the most intuitive people I know.
Oh, well, thank you.
No, you truly are, and I know that when you write your books, you're connected to the higher power of wisdom and the universal knowledge, because for all the stuff to come out and how you put it all together is pretty amazing. But and also just in everyday life when we talk about things, it's like you bring up things to me that I go, well, I didn't even tell you about that, and you already know about it. But you say it in just in conversation.
Passing.
You have it's not like you're doing a reading.
Yeah.
You just are so intuitive and so psychic. And have you always been that way?
Oh gosh, I mean, I thank you. That's such a compliment. I don't know if I had ever used those words to describe myself. I mean, I would love
No,
to.
you're like an old wise soul.
Oh, thank you. And I got
In a
the,
young
the hips
body.
to match.
Oh yeah, how is your hip?
It's fine. It's fine. Thank you.
Okay, good,
Yeah,
good.
yeah. I'm so grateful for whatever has helped me write these books.
And do you consider yourself a writer or an actor?
It's a very good question. My accountant considers me a writer.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Because you really are a writer.
well, that's my main
Wait,
gig now.
aren't you doing? Did you tell me that you're doing a voiceover thing?
I did. Yes, I just recorded it.
How was
Yeah.
that? What was that?
It was great. I can't say what it is yet.
Oh,
but,
okay.
Yeah, but
That's
I did,
okay.
I did. Yeah, it was for an animated show that's coming out.
Can you tell me at dinner?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I'd love to tell you. Yeah.
We're not
yeah.
going to tell anyone. I get to know the secret.
Yeah, but it was very. I think my the kiddos are gonna really like it.
What was the first story you ever wrote?
Okay, you're gonna love this story. I think you're gonna love the story.
Okay.
I think it was like second grade. We had an assignment that we
Okay.
had to write our own Cinderella stories.
Uh-huh.
And so I wrote a story called Senior Ella, and it was about an old woman who wanted to go to I think it was her 75th high school reunion
Aw.
just to meet her child, to see her her old high school boyfriend. But she
Aw.
lost her teeth. And
Aw.
and so the fairy godmother appeared and gave her teeth to go to the, the
That was
reunion.
your first.
That was my first story I wrote. Yeah. And that's when my parents knew I was going to be an interesting child.
So funny.
Yeah.
And did she meet her
She did,
the
yeah.
love of her life?
Yeah, and they had a happily ever after. Yeah, for
her
however
child.
long it lasted.
It was her childhood sweetheart.
Yeah, it was her high school boo. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I hope I have it somewhere. I think I have it somewhere.
I would love to read that.
I'll show you. I'll bring it next time I come on the show.
Okay, oh good. Will you come back? Oh my God, I'm so excited you're here today. I was like, I've been doing CharVision for over 4 years, and it's like we're friends, and I'm really careful because I know your publicists are really picky about what you do.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
please
you.
thank
oh,
them.
you're so sweet.
for-
The
for-
first time you ever asked. So
Well, thank
happy
them,
to.
please.
Mm.
Well, I, you know what? I'm so careful with
Right,
you because
right.
I never want to take advantage of our friendship, and everybody
Aw.
wants to know Chris Colfer.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Everyone wants a photo with you. Everybody wants, your autograph. And it's like, I'm so careful because I feel very protective of you. You know that.
Yeah. Oh, I do. And thank you. I really
And
appreciate
you're very
that.
protective of me too.
Oh, yes. I try to be. Yeah.
You
yeah.
totally are. So I want to see, just so everybody knows, Chris has produced this segment because he wrote the questions. That's why he said that's such a good question.
She asked me to send her some questions.
Yeah,
was like, "All right,
I always do that because then I want you to be comfortable, and I
Oh, so
want it,
sweet.
and I want and whenever people come on CharVision, I want them to talk about what they want to talk about.
Yeah,
So
that's great.
you know what? This is a good one. What's your advice for aspiring performers or writers?
For performers, I would say it's really, really important, especially in this day and age with social media and whatnot, really analyze the reason why you want to be an actor or be a
Right.
singer. And if you analyze your ambition and realize it's just because you want attention, or if you think it's going to be a cure for loneliness, then I don't think it's the right path
It's
for
not
you.
a good idea.
Right. And there's so many kids out there that they want to be a famous actor or singer or dancer or whatnot, and they've never done it before. They've
And
never
you
done
know what?
play
I
or-
notice that some people I read for, they never got approval from their mother or their
Right,
father.
yeah.
So they're looking for the public to give them approval.
Exactly, yeah. And I think public approval is kind of a thing of the past now. I don't
Isn't
think that
it?
really
It
exists
doesn't-
anymore.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's crazy though. It's crazy because I don't know, the boundaries that we're living in and with the truth is very blurred in our society today. But it's not blurred in the spirit world because karma's real and what goes around comes around and the truth is real in the spirit world. But it's just, I feel like kids these days are having such a hard time
Yeah.
balancing out what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah. And there's so many different ways to feel insignificant. I mean, like, I was a kid not too long ago, and we didn't have Instagram and Twitter and the way that kids compare themselves to the popular kid in the school. You can't you have to be popular in school. You have to be popular outside of school. You have to,
Wait, what were you popular in school?
Oh my God, no,
no,
absolutely not. No,
Wait, were you in the musicals?
I was, yes, but yeah. I mean, I never had like very good roles, unfortunately.
You didn't?
No,
with
I
your
didn't.
gorgeous voice.
No, I think I was Chip in Beauty and the Beast.
Oh,
That was great because I got to
Oh,
sing
that's
the
a
whole time.
cute one.
That was good. I was Teen Angel in Greece. Again,
Oh,
that was
right.
great because I came in and came out, and that was it.
Aw.
But no, I was more. I think I've told you this. I was friends with the lunch ladies.
That's right.
Yeah, that was actually that was one of my first jobs. Was I?
He likes old people. That's why we're
do.
friends.
You're the youngest old person I would know.
Thanks.
You're more. You're more mischievous. How do you say it?
Mischievous,
Mischievous, yeah.
mischievous. I'm both.
Than anyone I know.
Really? Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
We can't tell everybody all my stories.
No, I won't. Yeah, I won't ruin your reputation on your show.
Please. Wow. So you really weren't. You were friends with the lunch ladies.
Yes. Yeah. My first job
so cute.
Was before school I would get up early and I would work with them in the mornings. I was a cookie scooper, and that's how I paid for my first headshots as an actor. But I didn't like working, but I loved being with them because it was like I had a live episode of Golden Girls constantly, like just like
how
the
cute.
wit and the life experience, and I've always been attracted to that. Or drawn to that.
So adorable. Did you get extra cookies?
Oh yeah. Probably didn't need them at the time.
Yeah. Well, I know that you. I mean, you look great now. But so you had a weight problem when you were younger.
I was a little chubby. Yeah. I puberty was rough.
Really?
Yeah. But yeah. So that.
But when I came to visit your grandma, we went to your favorite pizza place.
we did. Yeah. Well, that was the culprit. Was that pizza place?
What was
Yeah.
it called again?
It was called. Oh gosh, it was called Me and Ed's.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Me
was-
and Ed's. He loved that pizza.
I did.
It was like really fun to
And
go.
my dad always has it when I go back home to visit.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so nice. That's so sweet. It's comfort food for you.
It is. Yeah.
What's your favorite part of writing? What's your favorite part of writing?
My favorite part of writing, I think, is it's funny. I sent you these questions now. No, I don't know the answer. I think my favorite is the beginning, when it's all kind of downloaded.
Yeah.
Because before I start a book, I always see it in my head like a trailer, like a movie trailer.
Right.
Just a bunch of random images, and then I try to connect the dots as best as I can.
Right.
So I love that part because it's the first time that I get to experience one of my stories for the first time. So it's only like part of the process where I'm the reader in a way.
Do you feel like you have guardian angels or famous writers in the spirit world helping feed you information?
I hope so. Yeah.
I feel like you do.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I feel like because you download things.
I do.
I see you. I see you download things because you. I feel like you're one of the people. Like I'm partially here and partially in the energetic world.
1 foot each
Yeah,
way.
and I feel you're like that too with your with your writing for sure.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
And really in everyday life, you're like you have a wisdom about you.
Oh, I've always had my head in the clouds. That's for sure.
Right?
Oh yeah.
That's true.
Yeah,
You're so cute.
There are times when I'm writing where 9 hours will pass by and I won't have even left my desk because I'll be in such a zone.
You know, the Land of Stories is so special and so amazing. You guys, you really need to read the Land of Stories and also The Tale of Magic, because this is his new book. And like he always gets on the New York Times bestseller, but why do you think kids resonate with your stories or with the Land of Stories?
I think with the Land of Stories, which has been really that's been phenomenally popular.
Do you know how many countries are you in with that?
I'm in 30 countries and 28 languages. So I'm not sure how that's divided.
Amazing.
That might, but luckily it grows quite a bit every month. So that might. But by the time this or that might be different today than it was when I got the facts. But yeah, no, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. It's striking a chord with kids.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I think there's an interesting, because the Land Stories was my very first book.
Right.
And before that, I hadn't written anything longer than an essay in high school. So I think there's something to be said about a first time writer and having an audience of first time readers. I think there's kind of an interesting. I think there's something there with that. But also, I think it's just pure escapism for kids. I think they get to go on an adventure.
Kids I know that have read it love it.
Yeah, I know it's
they don't want to leave it because it's kind of like watching like a series that you really love and when it's over it's like I'm so sad it's over.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. I remember when the Harry Potter books were over, I was so devastated. I thought I had
but see that to me you're like the next, or you are the what J. Rowling's, what's her name?
Oh, J.K. Rowling. Well, I'll take it.
That's,
I'll knock
but
on,
that's.
knock
I
wood.
think you're like the younger version of J.K. Rowling.
Oh,
I really,
thank you.
no, I truly do.
Yeah.
What's the Tale of Magic about?
A Tale of Magic. It's funny. It started as a prequel to the Land of Stories series, but when I finally sat down to actually write it, the world had changed so significantly from the time that I had signed the book deal that I decided to make it kind of its own thing, and felt this need to try to put some clarity and compassion back into the world with it. And that's one of the reasons why I love writing about kids so much. Is I think if we can pump them with compassion and comprehension and a respect of facts and I think they'll grow up to be better rounded adults.
Well, I think kids are under so much pressure these days, and I think our whole society is. You turn on TV and there's always chaos.
Yes, yeah.
There's something going on with the government, or
my gosh.
there's something going on with global warming, and you're not going to be able to grow up and have the right food and the right water and the right shelter. I mean, it's so difficult, or we're on the brink of having a war with Iran, or we're on the brink of North Korea.
Yeah. I wonder.
It's crazy.
I wonder if they are.
That's why your book's so important.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I think it's important for kids to have escapism from all that.
Can I say that my feeling is that eventually that the Land of Stories will definitely be like a movie or TV or something.
Oh, I hope so. Yeah.
I feel so.
Yeah,
I feel so.
Yeah, we're still in development for the first movie right now. So
yeah, I feel like it's going to be good. And then and then your goal is to in the movie be in it.
I don't think so. Right now we're developing the first Land of Stories film with 20th Century. and I'm attached to write and direct it and produce it.
Uh-huh.
So I think being in it might be
Write
a little.
and direct.
Yes, yeah.
Have you directed before?
I've never directed before. I've always been very bossy though.
Yeah.
So I think I'll be good at it. Or I hope.
Well,
I'm good
I
at
just
it.
have a feeling it's going to come to fruition, and I have a feeling it's going to be hugely successful.
Oh, thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. I'm so happy for you, but I bet you're like going to be a great director.
Oh, I hope so. Thanks. Yeah. I'm really. It's funny. It doesn't really seem like directing though. Like whenever I think about it, it seems more like I'm bringing something to life more so than
Right.
than, I mean, I know it's going to be very very technical and calling shots and via special effects and whatnot. But I really it feels more like giving birth in a way.
You know, the thing I find about you is that when you're in a business mode, you are all about creating the business, not pleasing people, not hiring people because they're your friends.
Mm-hmm.
You're very much about making it right energetically, making the perfect presentation. You are.
Yeah, I think.
When you're into business, you're very dedicated.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. I
And when
I
you're
think it took me a while to
writing-
get there. I think growing up in this crazy industry really gave me a really good perspective of what's important and what's not.
But you've kept your feet on the ground. Like,
Oh, thanks.
I mean, a lot of young people, you think about, Drew Barrymore, and she seems like she's kept her feet on the ground, but some kids just, they're still not alive.
Yeah. I know. Yeah.
Child stars.
Yeah. I mean, it's really, really, really difficult being young in the public eye. Like that was quite an experience that I had. And
Like you went from a small town. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
I'm interrupting you.
No, please.
I
please,
what?
yeah.
I what?
Oh, I forgot. Keep going.
Oh, but you went from a small town.
Oh,
that,
yeah.
That you couldn't even get the lead in the high school play or
I tried.
whatever. You tried.
I tried.
And then you become this like superstar.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
really, you're the one that carried that show.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
No, you are truly the one that carried that show. Did anyone else win a People's Award or whatever it's called?
I'm not sure. I think maybe I think Jane and I were.
Jane.
Yeah.
Jane Lynch. Yeah,
yeah.
she's amazing.
She is incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, and it's I wish I had been older through all that experience because it was so. I mean, don't get me wrong. It was a dream come true, and it really was exactly what I needed at that time. Just to kind of break away from my small town and do what I really wanted to do and yeah, no, I mean I can't imagine. I try not to pass any judgment on anyone in this industry because I cannot imagine what it's like to be a to be a kid in this industry.
Like Justin Bieber?
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of people want to make jokes and point fingers, but like that is such a
It's got to be
tough
so
position.
difficult.
Yeah, and I feel so bad for those poor kids that end up in the Land Stories movie because I'm going to be so overbearing, so protective.
Yeah, but that's good.
I'd be like, oh, you think you're going to that party? No. It's a contract, morality. No, you're not going to that. Who do you want to talk to? No. Put the phone down. You're not going to that party.
Oh my goodness. You're going to be like a super
I'd
dad.
be like, Daddy dearest. Yeah.
Daddy dearest. You're so funny.
Yeah.
Wow. It's like, I mean, you will have an opportunity to help some kids really become known.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully, yeah.
But what advice do you give to kids? Like, how do you keep your feet on the ground?
I think it's
Your parents?
sometimes people are born with parents that aren't great parents all the time and still rise above it. So I don't put everything on parents. What I would say is what I would have told myself in the beginning when I got overwhelmed was there's gonna come, it too will pass. Like right now you're being stalked constantly by paparazzi. You feel like you're in a fishbowl. But one day, the show will end, and your star will fade, and everyone might make that seem like it's a bad thing right now.
Right.
But then life calms down and life goes back to normal.
But you also like. You're a writer, and a lot of people have no idea what writers look like. Who are famous writers. I mean, maybe some people might know what Stephen King looks like, or some other famous, J.K. Rowling's, maybe, but not really. You could pass her on the street, and I probably wouldn't know who she is.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things that I hear at book signings is kids they'll be looking at me, and they'll say, "Has anyone ever told you look like that guy from TV?" And I'll say, I get that all the time. He must. I always tease them. Oh, he must be very good looking. And sometimes they're like, "No, he's not." But
you are so adorable. I'm so happy that you're here.
Oh, I'm happy to be here.
So, okay. So then you wrote, and when you produced the show today, you wrote stories. Okay, so we're gonna get to the stories. He's
directing.
He's directing some very funny stories after we take a break. Okay, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. You're gonna laugh. Hey everybody, it's Sunny and Char, and I just wanted to answer a couple questions. People have been calling the office and texting and emailing. Do I do private sessions? Well, yes, I do, and I love reading for my clients. I do phone, Skype, FaceTime, and in person if we're in the same city. I also teach intuition. So if you have an interest in doing that, or if you're interested in getting your family together and you want a group reading, I do those as well. So just call 248-909-2427, ask for Nicole, and I look forward to reading for you. Thanks. Hey everybody, it's Sunny and Char, and I am so excited. I am over the moon to share with you that I have a new book coming out called The Universe is Calling You, and there's an amazing foreword by RuPaul. There's an endorsement by Chris Colfer. It's about understanding your intuition. It's about protecting yourself from negative energies. It's about understanding your essence and your true purpose and your soul's purpose on this earth. You can get it at barnesandnoble.com. You can get it at amazon.com. I would love for you to order the book and let me know what you think of it. Write a review for us if you feel like it. Thanks so much. And we're back with Chris Colfer and his new book, A Tale of Magic, that you can get at bookstores everywhere and amazon.com and barnesandnoble.com. And I suggest that you have your kids read these books because it really helps make boundaries of what is ethical in our lives and entertaining as well. So, okay, so Chris wrote that he wrote, I want to tell some stories. Okay, so we're going to let you tell stories, but they can't all be about me. They can't all be about me, but which story do you want to tell the most?
Oh my gosh. The pet psychic story is pretty funny.
Okay,
this is probably a good place to tell that story.
Okay, let's hear the pet psychic story.
So I had this cat named Brian. And Brian is probably the oldest soul I have ever met in my life.
Okay.
Like I'm pretty sure he thought he was raising me rather than the
I remember
opposite.
Brian.
Yes.
I knew Brian.
Brian was he was just like not.
He was a great kitty cat.
Great kitty cat. Yeah, he was wonderful. And he got very, very sick.
That was so sad.
It was very sad. He quit smoking years ago, but it still came back. So one of my friends said, you should really contact this pet psychic that I know, who just in case he has any unfinished cat business or anything. And I was like, oh yeah, why not? So I do it, and so we called her up and I forget her name. That would have been a good plug. But she had no idea who I was. Had no, didn't sound like she would know have known me from TV.
Right.
And she started asking me questions, and and she started channeling him and nailed all of his ailments and that. And she goes, do you sing at him? And I was like, yes I do. And she goes, do you change the words of famous songs to be about him? And I'm like, yes I do. She goes like for example, The Hills Are Alive with the Sound of Brian. I finished the sentence like, yes I do. Oh my God. And I burst into tears because I've been told my entire career that my voice has been very soothing and helpful and has healed a lot of people, and I burst into tears thinking, oh my God, I'm singing to my cat and it's helping him, it's making him feel better. And the pet psychic goes, yeah, he hates your voice. He says if you want him to die peacefully, to shut up, and so I did.
I mean, you guys, you need to watch the reruns of Glee. Chris has one of the most beautiful voies of anyone I've ever known.
Thanks.
That is hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I got read. I got RuPaul read by the pet psychic.
Oh, right. Boy,
Yeah.
I wonder, maybe you can find her name and I can put her on my
Oh
show.
yeah, I'll look it up. Yeah.
I bet
Yeah.
CharVision areas would love to
yeah.
hear and see what she has to say
Yeah.
about Sonny Margolis.
Oh yeah, probably a lot was for Sunny.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So, okay, so here's, okay. When Char read for Chris's grandmother, I forgot I read for your grandmother.
Yeah. We took a trip up to Clovis, and you gave her a reading.
That's when we had your pizza.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was really funny because my grandma had a bad memory towards the end of her life.
By the way, his grandma was lovely.
Oh, she was.
He has the nicest family.
She was a character. My grandmother was a character. She almost got us kicked out of the Palace of Versailles once. That's a story. She just pulled. We were in the hall.
What did she do?
We were in the Hall of Mirrors, and she just whipped out a sandwich and a Coke from her purse, and was like eating, looking around, and someone ran over and said, "Mademoiselle, you cannot eat or drink." And she goes, "Watch me." And so I was like, I'm so sorry. And wheeled her out really quick. But
she was a preacher, right?
She was a reverend. Yeah,
a reverend.
Her and my grandparents.
Yeah,
they're reverends, and
which is amazing in itself.
Of a New Age church too, which was unheard of in my hometown.
Did you sing in their church choir?
That's where I started singing.
Really?
Yeah, my cousin Amy. She was the singer when she was like 11 and I was like 5.
Oh.
And she sang every week at my grandma's church. And then Amy and her family moved to San Diego. And so in a very like Mama Rose style, from Gypsy, she turned to me and was like, "You're next, you'll be great." And so I was forced to sing against my will.
Like what like the Amazing Grace? Or?
That's how it started. And then
did it start Amazing Grace?
Yeah, and then eventually she let me just sing whatever I wanted, and then she would, because she'd play the piano while I sang, and then I'd pick a song, and she would just write a sermon around whatever that song was, and sometimes I'd sing like,
and unfortunately Chris's grandma has crossed over to the other side, and you have her piano now, right?
I do, yeah, I have the piano that she taught me how to sing at.
That's really so sentimental and so sweet.
It's very, she's very special.
Now, I never met your grandpa. What was he like?
Oh my gosh, he was hilarious. He loved asking people to pull his finger. And he used to. People who like my fans will probably understand why I am the way I am because of my grandparents. But yeah, they're both characters. They were through like the 60s and 70s. They had like a June and Johnny Cash like cover band.
Oh.
And they would just perform all over town, just doing, going down to Jackson and all that, and
Did they play? Oh, she played piano,
and they played guitars too.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty. Yeah, they're pretty rowdy. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they were like New Age reverends.
They were. I know. It was very.
And so you probably got some of your wisdom through learning from them.
I did. Yeah. I think so. And their congregation was mostly made up of older people who I loved and learned a lot from.
So you were recently on The Tonight Show.
I was, yes. I talked about you.
And you talked about me. Do you want to tell the story of what you told everybody?
Sure, I'd love to. Yeah, yeah. I feel like I'm okay.
We have plenty of time.
Good. Yes. So Char and I, we like to get dinner every week or so.
Right. We're not saying where. We have a special place usually, but tonight we're going to go somewhere new.
Oh, good.
I think
nice.
you'll like it.
Great. This time we were in the middle of because my mother passed away too recently. She came through, kind of interrupted our conversation. And she gave you a message to repeat to me, which was, when I'm directing the Land Stories movie, when I see the monitors at Video Village flicker, to know that it's her saying hello. And so I responded, "Can she pick a different sign? Because I'm going to need those to work." And then my mom and I, through you, ended up getting into an argument.
We got in it. Your mom. You know what? When I read, I don't remember what I say, so I vaguely. It's
Remember?
like I hardly remember, but I vaguely remember.
Yeah.
So she argued with you through me.
Through you, yeah.
Which was not unusual for Chris's mom to do with Chris.
No,
I mean,
it was not.
I loved your mom. Your mom was a wonderful woman, but very
she was a mother. Yeah.
Opinionated.
Yeah. But,
and she was very protective of you, and
she
also wanted to be part of the show.
Yeah. And she really wanted. She worked on that sign so hard, and just telling me it's never enough. It's just never enough.
In her defense, spirits really. It's very hard for them to learn to use their energy to make lights go on and off, or make TVs go on and off, or music happen. So
she's very hurt when I asked her to pick something
she was
different.
hurt.
Yeah. So anyway, and then the waiter came over and he was like, "Are you guys okay?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm fighting with my mom." And he's like, "Oh, I didn't know this was your mom." I was like, "Oh no, she's dead." And so the look on his face was
that was so
very
funny. It was so funny.
Yeah, it was very great.
Do you still feel your mom? Does she come? She comes in dreams to you.
She does, yes.
Tell us about that, and your sister.
Oh yeah,
like your sister has like a conversation going on with your mom all the time in the spirit world, right? Your sister's got a direct line.
Yeah,
she's amazing.
Said that. Yeah, she's incredible.
Yeah.
You put it beautifully. I see her in my dreams all the time, and I remember that this one time, shortly after she passed away, I had this dream that we were on a road trip together, and my mom we were like in this RV, and she was driving the RV, and she's like, "Well, isn't this just wonderful, Christopher? Just the two of us going on a road trip together." And in the dream, I quickly realized I realized she had passed away, and I realized I was dreaming, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, but you passed away. You're dead." And she's like, ugh. Like it's just so tired of talking about it. And I said to her, I was like, "What's God like? What's God like?" And she goes, "Oh, it's always about God, isn't it? Everyone wants to know about God." That was probably the best one I found.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. Yeah.
That is so crazy, but it felt real, right?
Yeah, very real. Yeah. I have such interesting dreams.
You have very vivid dreams, and a lot of times, I think everybody needs to realize that when we have dreams of loved ones who have crossed over and they're very, very real, it's really a visitation.
Yeah.
And also sometimes what we dream may not be exactly what a message for us. Most of the time it is, or it's symbolic of a message, but a lot of times it'll wake us up so we remember the dream. So they'll give us a story like that to make you wake up and remember, like, oh my goodness, she's arguing with me again, or she's not happy again,
right?
And it wakes you up and you go, oh yeah, that's the essence of my mom.
Yeah. Or sometimes it's just it could be utter nonsense too. Like I had a dream recently where I was with Nicole Kidman, and we were in a recycling facility.
Do you know her? Did you ever meet her?
I met her once years ago, but I don't know her personally. But we were in this recycling facility, and she's teaching me how to recycle and how to sort the recyclables versus the non-recyclables.
Oh goodness!
And we looked up, and the Broadway cast of Cats was in the doorway, just posed, watching us recycle, like
that's
this.
crazy.
And I was like, I was like, and she goes, "Oh, that doesn't belong here." And I was like, "I know, right? Like, are they on tour or something?" And she goes, "No, this milk carton, it's recyclable," and put it in the trash can. And I've been trying to analyze that dream for a long time, and I can't figure out what it really means.
Was she in Cats?
No, she wasn't. No.
Huh. It do you think it means that you need to recycle? Do you
Maybe
feel
it
guilty?
does.
Do you
I
feel
think-
guilty because you're not recycling?
I do recycle. I
Oh, you
think
do
it means I just
recycle.
need to stop eating sushi right before bed. Because
You think that's it?
think probably
Maybe not. Yeah, not all dreams are psychic.
Not all dreams are
But
psychic. Yeah.
but dreams when there's a spirit coming to you. That's
Those are
has your grandma come to you in a
Oh,
dream?
many times, many
Can
times.
you remember anything about your grandma?
Gosh. Usually it's more like she's an observer. Like she's
Right.
watching the dream, and my grandma was a smoker, and so sometimes I'll just like see her just like smoking in the corner, just kind of like almost as amused by my
Yeah.
dream as I am.
Yeah.
But there are some times where I have dreams where she just gives me a big hug and then you wake up just like, oh, wishing you could have drag a little piece of her back to this side.
Yeah, I always feel like she's kind of watching over you.
Yeah.
Don't
she and I
you
were really
feel
close.
that?
Yeah.
I do feel that, but you definitely have guardian angels and spirit guides that are very powerful.
Oh yes. Yeah. Thank you.
That I feel like, but what's interesting is like you're a direct line. Like you don't have like the veil between here and the universal knowledge and here in the spirit world is very thin for you. It's like, I feel like kids your age and even younger are you a millennial? Are you, or are you a Gen X?
I believe I'm a millennial.
Millennial,
Yes.
yeah. I feel like you guys a lot of you were born with a more open opportunity to connect with the spirit world and really use it as a sixth sense. More so than my generation, because it and also you're allowed to feel and you're allowed to cry and you're allowed to have emotion. And my generation is don't cry, stiff upper lip, and kind of like the British are right now in a way.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know, but to me, you're exceptional. What did you write down? Char's panel at DragCon? What was that?
Oh, that's one of my favorite stories about you.
What is it?
Was you were doing a reading when I came to see you at DragCon at your panel.
He came to see me, and he had, which was so sweet of you, and you even had a bodyguard come.
I did. Yes.
I felt so special that you came.
I didn't want to take any chances. You never know.
Right.
You were reading for the audience, and this man came up, and he looked like he had a few drinks, and you were trying to read for him.
I said, "Who's a skeptic?"
Yeah, and it was him.
And it was him.
And
I said, "I want to read for skeptic."
And he came up and you're doing you're concentrating, and you're like, do you know a David? And he was like, no. And you're like, no, I think it's a David. And he, no. And you're like, are you sure? And he goes, no. And then he finally said, I think you know a David. You said, and then his friend called from the audience, that's his brother who passed away. I'll never forget when you were just like, I think you do. Like you were just, no. There's a David here.
Oh,
and he's
thank you
here.
for remembering that and sharing that.
That was so funny.
It's so annoying when people don't accept the truth of what's coming at them.
Yeah.
But he
makes it very difficult for you, I imagine.
And of course he was drunk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I'm just so proud of you.
Oh, I'm so proud of you. Congratulations
you.
on your new book coming out.
Thank you. Yeah. I want to thank you so much, because in my book, The Universe is Calling You, Chris wrote an amazing endorsement. And it's really special. And if you get the book, you'll see what it is. So thank you for supporting me. It means the world to me. I want everybody to go out and buy A Tale of Magic and watch, and also The Land of Stories. And somewhere in time, not too far away, we'll be seeing, hopefully you'll be getting awards for being a director and a producer of your own writing.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, take good care. Say hi to your dad.
I will.
And Hannah for me.
I will. I'm sure they say hello back.
Okay, thanks. Okay, everybody, that's it for now. I wish everybody a happy Valentine's Day, and take good care of yourselves. And remember, intuition will take you places logic never could. Bye-bye.